Hi Deidre, here is a quick video on a refresher of purling as well as casting off. Just a second, I got my yarn stuck under the stool. Okay, here we go. So for purling, one of the most important things to do and remember is to have your working yarn. That's the yarn that goes directly to the ball or is being pulled directly from the ball, not your tail. It needs to be in the front. So how to do the purl stitch is, you're looking at your stitch on the needle here. You're going to use your right needle to go in the back door like that, and your right needle sits on top of your left needle in an X, and then you take your working yarn, give it a little tug and tighten it just a bit on that first stitch, wrap around this way, and then you drop your right needle tip down, and the new needle or the new loop comes up and the old one comes off. So again, your right needle goes in the back door. Let's see that. Your yarn goes around this way. Your right needle goes down a bit, and then you see the new loop and the old loop comes off. And your working yarn is still hanging here in the front. Alright, so we go in the front door, or sorry, the back door, and then you go around. This needle kind of drops down and yet up with the new loop, and the old loop goes off. So in this back door like this, around with the yarn, the right needle drops down and up, the old loop comes off. There you go, in the back door. Wrap the yarn around that top needle, drop the right needle down with the new loop, off with the old loop. In through this back door right here, you can see it, around the yarn, the new loop comes up, the old loop goes off. So in through this back door, around, up with the new loop, off with the old loop. And just a quick little bit of information about your loops that sit on your needle. If you look at this loop right here, it looks like a cowboy riding a horse, kind of, and you want to always make sure that this front leg is a bit more forward than the back leg, so it kind of looks like the cowboy is sitting like this. If you ever find that your loop, let me take it off here and twist it, if it's looking like this, your work is going to become twisted. So the correct way is like that, where this front leg is a bit more forward than the other. Okay, so let's purl that last loop, last stitch. There we go. Now your first and last stitches of every row kind of look funny, where you have this weird big gap, but they do settle down. I always just kind of give it a little tug, pull on this just a bit. Okay, so now you're ready to cast off your work. So casting off is working your stitches. You work two, lift one over the other, and you just keep going across the row until you only have one stitch left. So now we're going to go back to a knitting direction now instead of purling. So I'm keeping my yarn more towards the back. So we go in this way, and you'll notice again your right needle is under the left needle now instead of what we just did with purling. And then we wrap the yarn around the bottom needle, and we're bringing up the new loop and off with the old loop. So we come in the front door now, wrap the yarn around, bring up the new loop and off with the old. So in the front door, wrap this around, up with the old, whoops, I gotta actually stop right there because I need to cast off. Forgetting what I'm doing. All right, so you have knit 2 stitches, and to cast off, that's what you need to do. And what you're going to do is you're going to lift this stitch up and over this stitch and off. So what I do is I use grab my left needle, kind of pick up that back stitch, and if you want to take your finger and kind of hold that one that was closest to the edge, work your needle down, let that first stitch drop off, and keep that second stitch on your needle. All right, so let's knit the next stitch. Okay, you see you have 2 stitches again. So this first one is going to get picked up and going to go over the top of that second one. So if it makes you feel comfortable, that in case you're worried you're going to drop that stitch, hold it with your hand, drop the other one off. You see they're kind of intertwined, so they're not going to unravel. Let's do another. Okay, there's our 2 stitches. So pick up this one. You can also do it with your fingers if you want instead of your needles. But hold on to that one. Drop that first one off. Okay, and you can kind of see the stitches are laying on their sides as they're cast off, and they're intermingled, so they're not going to unravel. All right, let's knit that one. And this one, pick it up and over that first one, hold it to keep it safe if you like, and off. Go again. So you keep doing that until you only have 1 stitch left on your right needle. So go here. Okay. Pick it up over the first stitch, hold that one, drop that one off. You're almost there. It's big needles. Okay, so you have 2 stitches left here. So go ahead and pick up that stitch up and over the first stitch, and then you only have 1 left. Then what you'll do is cut this yarn, leave about 8 or 9 inches or so, cut that yarn, and then take that yarn and put it through your last loop, and then pull it tight. And then your last step of your project will be to weave in your ends. And the way I weave in my ends is I either use a yarn needle that has a big eye, or you can use a crochet hook, and I just weave it in here, 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 maybe go up here a little bit. I don't go straight across where I hide it. It's like when you do cross stitching and you hide the tail. Usually what I'll do is I'll go here a couple, then I go up to the next row and up here, and I leave about 1/2 inch of a tail sticking out on the wrong side of the fabric, and then cut the yarn. And then this one you would do the same thing, just kind of go in a little, like a little square. You'll hide it. All right, so that is it. Good luck.